Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal. I'm here with Bruce McCurdy on a night of absolute jubilation for Oilers fans. Bruce, that was even before I was going to say it was a great game, even if the Oilers failed to tie it. I was making up my mind. I was going to say that because it was a fantastic effort by the Oilers. So not only did they come back from a 3-1 deficit and tie the Washington Capitals to got a Bettman point out of that game, but the dynamic duo scored in overtime to win the game, and it was a kind of a transcendental performance by Connor McDavid tonight. Like one of those, I was starting to get a little worried, Bruce, about his he's coming back from major it was surgery. He's coming back from major knee surgery.
It was surgery?
We
know this now?
We know it. It's been a couple different media people said this in their reports. Spector and then someone else. And
no, Speck did.
And he just seemed to have lost steam in the last little while. And even in this game, took a while to get going. But man, when he got going, he was absolutely astonishing. And what a game. So, Bruce, this is our 2 good things, 2 bad things, and 2 numbers podcast. What is your good thing?
Well, that's kind of it. Was Connor McDavid in the third period and overtime, and specifically that portion of the game, because I saw the same thing you did. I saw me as a frustrated fan watching a frustrated player who was having all kinds of trouble getting going. They put up a graphic after the second period showing Ovechkin had 7 shots and McDavid had 0. And I'm going, well, no wonder it's a 3-1 for them kind of game, because our big guys can't really seem to get it going. I mean, they finally got off the schneid with a goal in the first period, but it was a bit of a fluke, right? Nurse's pass and it hit a Washington defender and found a hole. And then they couldn't beat Braden Holtby.
He was fantastic, Bruce. Like that save on
great saves.
Huge.
Yeah. Oh.
And then there was another.
The one off of Kassian on the 3 on. Seemed like a 3 on 0. And somehow he got over and stopped that one. Like Zack didn't miss. Anyway, in the third period, Connor came out like a man possessed. It's, the guy we know and love, that we've known and loved for a while now. But we haven't seen much of that guy for this last week or so, and there's been speculation. My wife said tonight, she's a keen observer of healthy things. She said his eyes look a little bit under the weather. So I'm going, well, it's not looking good. And then all of a sudden, in the third period, he turned it on, and holy moly, he could have tied that game up 2 or 3 or 4 times. And then finally, was squeaked one through with goalie on the bench, and all of a sudden, the game that looks lost winds up being 2 points under the NHL's wonderful point system.
8 wins, Bruce, and 3 losses. 8 wins and 3 losses.
8-2-1. 8-2-1. Here's your man. No, this would be a 1980 sports reference. The stretch drive of 1980 after the Ron Lowe trade. The Oilers went 8-2-1 down the stretch to squeak into 16th place and make the playoffs. 8-2-1's a nice run for any team at any time.
I remember that so well, and it was such a sweet moment for Oilers fans. It really was.
It was.
And we're a jittery lot, aren't we? Like we really are. We're wondering, is this team for real? Are they about to collapse, or what's going to happen? And we're looking for signs, and we're looking for indicators. And the Oilers outshot the Capitals that game, Bruce, significantly. Mm-hmm. And they also outchanced them 18-9 on grade A chances, according to my count, which you will review.
Yeah, I will. What was the count in the third period?
It was 8-2 for the Oilers. The Capitals had a couple chances early in the third. Koskinen wasn't bad that game, but he did. The first goal was kind of like in his, it was brought bad memories bad memories for Oilers fans. Beaten kind of high glove handcuffed in that shot, but he was not bad. So McDavid now has 20 points in 11 games, so that's not bad at all. All right, my good thing, Bruce. I just want to ask you: do you have the time on ice in front of you?
I do.
What did Nurse?
It's staggering. It's staggering, the differential.
So what did Nurse have?
Nurse tonight had 25-33.
What did Clefbaum have?
26-10.
And what did Ethan Bear have?
26-48, number one among defensemen.
Okay, he was my good thing, Bruce. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, he's pushing that damn river up a mountain every single night. He is right now the Oilers' best defenseman. Right now,
Oh,
he is their best defenseman. When he has the puck on his stick, he
yeah,
is more likely to make a good play. And this isn't even close. I don't think anyone's going to disagree. It's not even close. When he has the puck on his stick, he's more likely to make a good play than any other Oilers defenseman, and it's not even close. And when he's defending, he's as good as any of the rest of them. So that to me, and he's playing, our friend at Joseph, I think Joseph 80, I
mm-hmm.
think is he was saying the Oilers are like using three number one defensemen, kind of hiding the other guys.
Yeah.
What did Russell and Manning and Benning play?
16:33 for Russell, 13:41 for Benning, who took a couple of Russell's shifts in the third, I noticed, and 9:35 for Manning. So it's a real 3-3 split. So they're using Bear and Bear and Nurse together a whole lot in even strength and shorthanded. And they're using Clefbaum a little less at even strength, but they're really putting him out on both special teams. Clef is killing penalties and power playing. Every game he's playing 5, 6, 7 minutes of special teams time, so that's pushing his time north. But the
Yeah.
number one pairing seems to be Nurse and Bear.
Oh yeah, has been for some time and will be. Like I'm looking forward to Pearson getting back in the lineup, and like Manning hustles, but he is a limited hockey player, and they could
Oh, he's
use
limited.
Russell should be like Russell and Benning. That's not a bad third pairing, and then the question will be then can Pearson handle it on a second pairing with Clefbaum until Larson comes back. Of course, by then someone else will be injured, so I'm hoping it's not Ethan Bear, Darnell Nurse, or Oscar Clefbaum, or any of them. But anyway,
Yeah, they're really
defensemen always
riding.
get hurt.
They're
Yeah.
really riding the big three, and they're riding the big three up front too, of course. But the ice time up front is pretty crazy too.
Yeah. Okay, what is your bad thing?
It has to be that 3-1 goal for Washington on the Oilers penalty kill, uh, where, I mean, I put up a tweet, you might have seen it, showing Alexander Ovechkin, like who's he, the guy that has 666 career goals at that moment in time, the number of the beast, and he's standing in his usual spot, top of the left face-off circle. He's got one skate inside the circle and one skate outside the circle, and the camera's a long way back, and all you can see around him is open ice, like he's, I don't know, out on the, going skidooing on the Northwest Territories, like nobody around him. You can't even see the top of a helmet in the foreground. It's like Ovi with I'd say literally 50 feet of ice. And the four Oilers are all over two or beyond the face-off dot on the other side. And then Chris Russell, who presumably is still playing right defense, he decides to go charge all the way into the left corner. And the guy's got the puck, and once he makes the pass past Russell, the Oilers are dead right then and there. And there's one more kind of tap across, and then it goes over to Ovi, and he literally has about 2 seconds to gather in the puck, pick his spot, and of course hit it. And I mean, that's one where, the poor goalie, what chance does he have? But the structure of that penalty kill, I just don't know what happened. And in particular, that looked like a major blunder by Chris Russell.
Yeah, he just got overexcited. He thought he had a chance to get it out, and he had been really good on the PK until then. He knew that their favorite, or clearly it looks like, I don't know what their favorite plays are. I don't watch that team, but they must do a lot of that passing from down low to out high through the slot, because Russell was going down constantly, and he blocked about 2 or 3 passes, I think, or changed about 2 or 3 passes to Ovechkin, and he was not able to get off that deadly shot. But yeah, Clefbaum and Archibald I also had tagged as losing battles on that one.
Certainly Archibald, He was the other right side guy that was way out of position. And
Clefbaum might have just been confused what's Russell doing over here.
I thought
but he
I
had a
was
chance
playing
to
left
stop.
defense. Oh,
Yeah. But he didn't stop the pass either. He was right there too, like the pass from the corner to the player that Russell was or Archibald was covering, and then it was over. Anyway, that was indeed a bad thing. Bruce, my bad thing. Okay, I think I've seen enough of the grind line. I've been there was a moment where it was kind of working when they had Patrick Russell on that line, but it ain't working. Bruce, Riley Sheahan, Jujhar Khaira together don't work as a forward pairing, and you put in Josh Archibald, and it's even worse. They just have nothing going on the attack. Bruce, Sam Gagner on his first shift got 2 grade A chances. That's as many grade A chances as all those 3 other guys have in 11 games. Wow. Sheahan has 1, Khaira has 1, Archibald has 0. That is, they're not close to scoring. They're not going to be close to scoring. This isn't working. They've got to change it up, and the sooner the better. And I personally think Khaira and Archibald should be sitting at this point. I know that they're both penalty killers. I like Khaira's work on the penalty kill more than Archibald's. But
he's been all right on the penalty kill.
So I would keep Sheahan in the team. He's a really good penalty. He's a face-off guy. He's been the most effective of those that 3 players. But man, that line is just. I know that they're out there against tough competition often, and they have defensive zone face-offs. They have a hard time of it. But in 11 games, I don't know if that's 11 games each, but 11 games they have
it's
2 grade A scoring chances between the group of them. That is just not even. They should have at least like 10, like maybe 1 a game.
For the line, I think that's reasonable.
For the line, and then they'd maybe have 3 or 4 goals between them at this point. That might be reasonable. It's not working out though.
Yeah, well, I have visions of Archibald missing the net with his one glorious chance that he had in Chicago and hitting the glass. So he kind of had the chance, but because it wasn't on net, we don't consider those.
Such a letdown for the team when you
Yeah, that's what you say. The coaches say that it just doesn't feel like a lift for the team at all when the chance gets blown. Anyways, that they're struggling. They didn't play much. In fact, the Oilers bottom 6 tonight. I mean, looking at even strength ice time, 8 minutes for Archibald, 8 for Khaira, 6 for Sheahan. And I wonder if he got banged up. I never saw him in the third period, and I saw Gagner on both bottom 6 lines for rare shifts. 5:52 for Russell, 7:04 for Granlund. I mean, we got a bunch of guys that are, like way down, and the top 2 lines are totally carrying the mail. 27-20 for McDavid tonight, 26-49 for Draisaitl. So
James Neal was good tonight. Yeah, I don't mind Granlund, Gagner, and Patrick Russell as a line or as players. I mean, they have been getting some grade A scoring shots. That group of players. I think Granlund has 4. Gagner has a 2 from that game, and Russell's I think got 6 or 7.
Yeah.
They're kind of carrying their weight. They're not scoring yet, but they will score because they're getting chances. Some of those will go in. We know 1 in 4 grade A shots, according to what we've seen over the years, they go in the net. So they're doing it, but that other group of players not so much. And they've got other guys. And I mean, they have Gagner. They have Gaetan Haas, who I thought was fine. They have Joe Gambardella, who was the best forward for Bakersfield in the playoffs. So Patrick Russell was really good, but Gambardella was every bit as good. So okay, number. What is your number?
Okay, I got Zack Kassian tonight, and I am gonna focus on his ice time, but I got to look at his entire stat line. It's really something else. 2 assists, 2 points plus 2, a penalty, which was it was a weird one where he and Tom Wilson went to the box where Wilson punched Kassian about 6 times, and somehow it was an even altercation. But to Zach's credit, he didn't go nuts on that play, which 2-3 years ago, he might have got a misconduct or, taken one last punch and somehow gotten the extra 2 or something. And he just took it and he grinned and he went off, and I don't think he was happy with the call, but he didn't have any reason to be happy with that call. Anyway, 22 minutes he played, all at even strength, every second of it at even strength. Pretty sure that's a career high for him. He just started hitting 20 minutes first times in his career in last year. 22 minutes, and he had 3 shots on goal. He got absolutely hosed by Braden Holtby on the best of them. 5 shot attempts, 3 hits, 4 takeaways, and he was in good spots. And he was part of the reason the first line had it going on. Now, he did make some bad passes, but he also made some very good passes, including the one that sprung McDavid and Draisaitl on the 2-on-1 early in the third that led to the 3-2 goal and got Edmonton back in the game. And so I am going to single out Zack Kassian's numbers. Also, while he was on the ice, those 22 minutes, the Oilers had 20 shots on goal. So, mind you, I mean, obviously he wasn't the one driving play, but he had his role to play and he played it.
He did his bit on that line. He keeps the puck alive. He moves the puck well to McDavid and Draisaitl. And I was impressed at one point. He had a chance to pass it off, but he decided, no, I'm going to take it to the net myself this time. And he came close to having a chance. And I think you need to do that, right, every now and then to keep the other team honest. If you don't do that, then they're not going to play you.
Right.
So he did it. He was in on 5 major contributions to 5 grade A chances and not a major mistake on a grade A chance against. So hell of a game from Zack Kassian. I wonder what would you give him?
Oh, he's pushing an 8, I think.
Oh,
with all of that stuff
8,
for me. Yeah, and I'm pretty. I throw around the 8s like manhole covers, as the old joke goes. But he did a lot right in this game.
I just use the vernacular. Like, you know, if we were in a bar afterwards and see it was, he had a great game. It's as simple as that. I'm not looking for anything more than that. So I tend to be more liberal, I think, than.
Yeah, well, I just don't like saying great game because it's an overused expression. But I would use it for Zack Kassian in that game.
Fair enough, Bruce. What would you give McDavid? A 9 or a 10? Probably a 9. But it's close to a 10.
Not a 10. But in the third period and overtime, he was an 11. Like, he just completely took over the game. It was incredible to watch.
Yeah, I'd give him a 9. And I'm sure Kurt will give him a 9, but he might even give him a 10. All right. Kurt Levens is going to be grading the game tonight, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad we have that straightened out. So my number is 10, and it is related to Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid was in on 10 grade A scoring chances, Bruce. 10 grade A scoring chances, which is an astonishing total. Like, you know, if he gets in on 3 in a game, he's had a really good game. 10, well, that's a special game. And 6 of them came in the third period and overtime combined. Just the one chance in overtime, of course. And 3 of them, he worked his way into. He had breakaway shots. Like, he worked his way in where he was in one-on-one on the goalie, and they came out of nowhere, Bruce. All 3 of those came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, the one he dinged off the crossbar, and then there was another one where he brought it in, and Holtby made a fantastic left pad save, where I thought McDavid had beaten him back to the short side, and Holtby dragged his pad and got a piece of that. Both of those were like, he was in the slot with the guy in front of him, and he dipped his shoulder, and the next thing you know, he was around the guy and in front of the goalie with the puck, trying to shoot from like 5 feet out. How? Like, against NHL defensemen.
What do you think that Caps defenseman was thinking in overtime? Draisaitl and McDavid were bearing down on him. I was talking to my wife about this, and we're both defensemen we're defense partners actually, and we're used to getting beat all the time on rushes and stuff. And I just was thinking, like, he's probably thinking, oh well, I've got a ready-made excuse if I don't make the play on this one. It was McDavid and Draisaitl in overtime. No one's going to blame me too much.
Yeah, well, I like that this time, unlike the Winnipeg game where they couldn't team up on a couple of 2-on-1s in overtime. This time, Draisaitl again had the puck, but he had it on the right side, and
Yes.
that's a whole different equation. And because Leon can pass off both sides of the stick, of course, but particularly on the right side, he has a lot of options. And you watch that replay, you watch that poor defenseman. He goes sliding into the corner. Leon beats him with the pass, and then of course there's nobody left to cover the return pass, and they executed it. It was in and out of the net so fast that we weren't even sure. I thought it was a goal, and my wife thought, "How'd he miss?" Because the way it came
That's
off,
what I thought
so
too. I had a
bulky.
panic moment.
Yeah, but he didn't miss.
That defenseman almost split himself in two trying to stop that first pass, and then he, of course, flopped on the ice and skidded off. Yeah,
Yeah, that would have
that's
been. That must have been good
Orlov.
old number 9 there,
Orlov is
Orlov,
it
Dmitry
Orlov?
Orlov.
Who's a really good player. Boy, Washington has got some good hockey players, don't they?
Hmm.
They are stacked with really good talent on that team. But so are the Oilers, Bruce. Now that they have Ethan Bear, makes a huge difference having that defenseman who can move the puck so well. They haven't had him since Andre Sakara, and here he is.
Well, Bear made about 3 plays tonight that were absolutely choice breakouts where he had no room and he made a little move to buy himself a bit of ice first. And then he made this little 10-foot pass and often to the guy you didn't expect because he passes it into the middle, but he makes the pass. Like he's the one who's the best at Dave Tippett's parent and Jim Playfair's apparent strategy to use the middle
Yes.
of the ice more. And Bear will often pull the puck in there with confidence. And I'm just loving his composure
Yeah.
and his
Is that a rattlesnake?
that's the cat.
Oh.
You'll see the door opening behind
I
me
thought it
here.
was a rattlesnake. I was pretty sure. Ethan Bear.
Anyway, he pulls and he's just so calm, like just a little thing, but like 7 or 8 seconds left in the third period in a tie game, and he's got the puck in his own end. Instead of forcing anything, he just turned back and killed the clock. He realized, and in a tie game, that's the right play. Unfortunately, the way the league is structured, and also on the tying goal. More importantly, a very good play to keep the puck in and along the right wing, high on the right wing boards and get it behind the net. And he would have got the third assist on that goal because I see they gave one to Chiasson as well as Neil. Neil clearly passed it to McDavid, of course, but Chiasson, I wasn't sure if he got a
I don't
piece
thought
of
he
that one.
touched it. Yeah.
Yeah, they might change it to Bear, and I think they might add one to Nurse on the overtime goal because he stopped that wraparound by.
He did. I thought he did too,
I
Bruce.
think
So
I think they'll give him a point.
yeah. Yeah, he's playing the Bears playing like Lars Eric Schuberg out there, man.
Yeah, little ice general, eh?
Yeah.
Man, 26 minutes and 48 seconds. That's just astonishing. And
It's
six block shots. It's not like he's only moving the puck.
Bruce,
He's doing
it's a
things right.
yeah, it's a matter of time till he's on the power play on the first unit, I think. They're going to have a hard time resisting that because he has that added element of being able to walk the line and get a shot. And he's a slightly better passer. I don't mind Clefbaum. I'm not trying to criticize him because I think he's doing a fine job, a passable good job on the power play. What does he have for power play points? Oscar Clefbaum 4.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing okay, but they're always looking to maximize what they've got, and that's one way you could do it.
Right now, the power play's in a serious funk. They had 2 more basically failed power plays tonight. I think one good chance out of 2 power plays. But
Oh, isn't that when Nuge had that brilliant
yeah, yes.
chance? I
And
mean,
then
that was
otherwise they had again trouble getting the puck over the blue line. They're just out of sync
well,
for now.
you know what Washington did that I hadn't seen anyone do so well is they really attacked. The first defenseman that goes up the ice and then
Mm-hmm.
lays the puck. They were all over that guy. And that was a really smart thing to do because most teams don't do it. And that strategy was, I thought that was really novel and very effective. So maybe we'll see that a lot more in the next little while. think it was Lars Eller who was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bruce, you're going to Jasper tomorrow?
Off to the Jasper Dark Sky Festival. Annual event out there in Jasper National Park, and we in the Astronomy Club always host public observing sessions at Lake Annette. So we'd be doing that on Friday and Saturday, and
what's the forecast?
Not good. So plan B is I'm among people giving a public presentation. If there's nothing to show in the sky, we have a tent where we can do stuff, and doing a interview for a documentary that they're making on dark skies. So lots of busy stuff for me to do. So that's why I'm raising a milk to the boys tonight. I'm going to take it easy. You know, people watching this podcast might think I'm a lush because sometimes I have a beer going after the game. But you know what? I follow my dad's example. My dad liked his beer, and I never saw him have more than one a day. And I have my one usually after the hockey game is over, and then I can decide if it's a happy beer or a mad beer. So, but it's the only beer that I can tell you.
I'm kind of the opposite. I might have beer twice a year, but when I do have it, I'll have probably 10.
You'll pound them back, will you?
I actually don't even drink beer anymore. Yeah. Period. All right, Bruce, have a great time this weekend, and thanks for talking tonight.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon, the next game, folks, 2 p.m., so don't be fooled by that. Lots of afternoon games. There's a couple more coming up in the next few weeks here.
All righty.
The weekend.
Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.